Hello and welcome to the second game of the finals of the 7th ESL weekly for NA. This is Dullahan up here in the top right as the Orc player versus DaDoksin. I will be able to confidently say his name one day. Playing down here in the purple as the Marines. So in the first game we saw an incredibly passive play style from DaDoksin. He played the early game very standardly, a lot of attacks, using the kill team to get him some power, but then he went absolutely turtle mode with whirlwinds just sitting up at his base, just waiting until he could get predators and his Solera down. Now actually we see in this game that he hasn't taken the Solera, he's gone for the Assault Terminators instead, which we're going to have to see if this alters his plan at all. He is going to go in for a sort of some aggressive pushing here. He's going to go in still for that very first elite power point, which very much fits his style of what we've seen him playing so far. Gretchen's moving about. Boys Hut, War Tower, nice and standard. Only 2 TAC Marines so far. You may have another one in a dropship, but I'm not sure. I wish I could see these, and I'd be able to tell you. Got some boys picking up scrap, hyping up. They're going to push up this hill. So no engagement going on really so far. People are just sort of dancing around each other. Gretchens and Servitors being the only actual fights going on. Got some good traditional wet noodle fighting going on here. Mortax, boys and shooter boys. Very standard opening, not too much to say here. Gonna have to wait for some come out to go. The first war going out here. Hopefully this will mean an attempted fight coming out from Dullahan. Gonna push up here and hopefully catch some of these Marines out, but the Marines are regrouping. He does seem to be down though. Does he have another Marine squad going down? Ah, he has gone for this fast arsenal, which would explain why he has less Marines. Normally the first engagement that we see in these fights is 2 boys and 2 shooters versus 4 Space Marine squads, but going for that really fast arsenal means that he won't even be able to throw down a banner and have a decent go at this. He's actually just going to straight lose that point, and the Orcs are now going to back off, having already gotten worth out of that first war attack. But this first arsenal going up quickly is going to give DaDoksin access to that flamer ability, which is going to give him a huge power spike in these early fights, although he's going to entirely just miss this army, so the Orcs will just be able to capture this side point for free. They're actually not going to do it, they're just going to leave it. They've seen these Orcs coming down here and they want to, these Marines coming down here, and they want to try and come and cancel that. Pilot gun's going to get shot up here. Perhaps not the greatest target. I'm not sure he will manage to actually take out an entire pile of guns before he gets sent for. But the Orcs are still a while away. Grot's going down there to take that point, but they're not going to get it as a Servitor is arriving there to defend it. The boys are arriving. Pile of guns at half health. Kill team can come down at any point. And they are doing so there. But the micro being pretty on point by Dullahan, although he does get an Orc boys hit. But he has boys down on this first squad. He's running boys back rather than getting on the back squad, actually, interestingly. But I guess he just doesn't want to get hit by that big flamethrower. He has the shooters now. But the pilot guns will go down, and it doesn't look like he's going to get his war upgrade down in time. He's going to have to restart that entirely from the beginning. And now another drop pod of Marines is coming down as well. So some perhaps slight indecisiveness or just fear of the almighty flamer there is going to send Dullahan back to base without a pile of guns and without much resources over the map either. He's going to lose this point here. It's going to happen every time I say they're going to lose a point. Are they just going to turn around? They're just gonna try and make me look stupid. Checking up here to see if he has an elite power point. Not gonna happen. Dullahan not rushing for the elite points so much. Some more slapping here going on. Do the Grots actually lose DPS as they lose models? If they actually went down to like half a DPS after losing 2 models, that would mean that the Servitor should like always win that fight, shouldn't it? I mean, I am really here talking about the mechanics and the balance of worker fights, but that was always something fun in Brood War. The very slight differences that made probes so much more powerful than other workers. Nothing else really happening on the map. Dullahan hasn't even moved out yet. He's starting to move out now. But no war or anything. He's just running up this hill trying to see what happens. And he is going to find some Marines here. He might be able to catch these out. Some pretty unimpressive stick bomb usage, honestly. Not leading shots. Just lobbing them towards them, but he needs to really take something on the map now, because we already know DaDoksin and DaDoksin. That would be a better name, perhaps. We already know that DaDoksin likes these late game turtle fests, so if you're just going to let him take all of the map with listing posts, that you're going to have a bad time. Your boy has not yet upgraded to tier 2. But he has got this flamer. He has, I believe, as well, a few infantry upgrades. No, he doesn't actually have any infantry upgrades. I'm not sure where he spent all this power, if he just hasn't got that many power gens. He does only have 2 power gens. On the Orc side, there's not much power either, so maybe I'm just over-expecting how much he should have. We're coming up to towards that 10-minute mark. This is the point where everyone's very well-practiced early games goes out of the door. And that's a big flamer hit there, but the stick bomb does counter it quite well. The kill team going down very, very low, but is going to just walk out of the back there. Both sides getting incredibly low here. Orcs coming out, I want to say very slightly ahead. This boy, unfortunately, is going to get killed by these Marines who are just standing here. But if these guys can get up here to hit these guys, then they can help these Orcs at the back, who are going to start having a bad time. Some good stick bomb hits here. Doing well. Wazmacker is now up, throwing down some scrap. We might see some scrap turrets coming out soon if there's more of a fight. The scrap turrets are going out there right now to try and take out this. One tactical marine squad did go down there, and it looks like the second probably will escape, honestly. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be pretty fine. But the Orcs now have a chance to move out and try and take a bit more control of this map. At least get this to half and half. First squad of looters coming out. It's going to be nice if they can get into a good fight with this. The Marines do not have any other buildings down, so they're only going to have tax. They are upgrading them, but it is just going to be tax on tax on tax on tax. And the looters will do very well against them if there are no assault marines or scout marines to hold them back, to hit some stun grenades or some jumps. Kill team with the rocket pod might be able to do it. Listening post is going to get hit. You can see also some boys on the other side taking this out. Taking control of the map now that they have an advantage. It's working very well. Point going down. That is a kill team coming down there, which is an interesting decision because they've actually just spawned right in front of the looters. They did not go onto them, but they do have these Marines hitting them down now. But look at how low those the kill team is already from that. These looters do not want to run into just all of these tactical Marines. That was a big mistake there coming down from Dullahan, just throwing the real power of his army away. His Orcs were sitting up here and were not really giving a good amount of support for his looters, and now Diomedes is out because he's had that elite point generator for the entire game, and this is going to be a lot of damage happening. A good usage of the knockback there from Angelos. It's going to take out all of this Orc army except for this one group of shooters and these boys that were on the other side of the map. So now DaDoksinX is at a huge advantage and can really just sort of, if he can reinforce all of his army, maybe get some devs or something a bit more interesting in there. He has thrown down the Doctrine Chapel and is throwing down the barracks, so he can get a bit more of a varied army out here. He does have the +1 done now, and he is going to tier 2, so he can get some more units out as well. He's going to push through the middle with his tank marines, one of which does have a flamer. I didn't see that there were 3 there, that was my bad. Going to take out the listening post, only taking a bit of damage to Diomedes. Scrap is going to come down, setting up some targets for Wazmaka, but the fight is just not going to happen. The marines are just going to back off. But with a war, it looks like the Orcs are going to come out again and look for a bit more of a fight. Marines are moving down here to the side. More tactical marines we can hear there in the drop pod. And we have some scouts here. These are going to start being very useful. If they can get some stuns onto a decent portion of the Orc army, that will give him even more of an advantage. And it looks like there is going to be a fight here. These first tactical marines are going to get caught pretty badly, thrown into the Orc army, and then just absolutely chewed up as the start. But they are all together, and that was the flamer unit that went down very thankfully, but the kill team's flamer is going to get in there. Diomedes on everyone is just going to get absolutely huge knockbacks here, absolutely huge stuns, and then he just absolutely misses one as I'm talking about how huge his stuns are. The scout marines are at the top. They're not actually doing anything yet. They could come down here and throw some grenades though, which will really clear this off. It's now just the heroes for the Space Marines fighting Wazmaka and a couple of boys. But that's not too bad. The kill team can do a lot of damage with these flamers, and Diomedes can keep a lot of the damage off of the kill team. There was no focus on the kill team. Everything was going into Diomedes, and he hasn't died. And now more tank marines are coming down. It doesn't look like Wazmaka is going to get away. And the kill team are going to push up here along with these scouts. If these scouts can hit a good grenade on them before they get into melee combat, the Orcs are actually just going to walk past. It looks like neither of them are microing this fight very well at all. Stick bomb's going to go in there to do some damage. These scouts are going to just sit there in stealth and watch their friends die. They are going to come out now. Looks like both players were more interested in whatever these kids were doing, chasing some stuff around, killing Wazmaka. We have another war going up. If he can catch with a war, with a good amount of units, he can catch some of this stuff out here and get a kill while Antonidas is getting some health and a couple of these tacks were being reinforced. This could be a good moment. He's going to get some big hits on these scouts. He's going to get the tactical marines here on melee combat, and he is going to get a small hit with a grenade up there. Kill team are just backing off. Another tank marine coming out here. Kill team are able to deploy again. Chasing some scouts out here, but he actually isn't doing much, and he's now split up his army, which means he doesn't really have anything super powerful at any point. He should probably meet up down here. These scouts are done. He's taken up this back point. He can get ready to push in again. Interestingly, not super much going either way here. DaDoksin did get a huge advantage in a couple of these fights, but the Orcs have just managed to build everything up again. Both sides have plenty of resources to just keep filling up their armies, so they're just sort of throwing money at each other right now. But this machine cult is coming up now. We are going to get this higher tech, and as we're now halfway through our second escalation phase, we can start to see some losses in these fights becoming more impactful. Tank busters are out now. Tank busters and knobs preparing for that powerful late game army that the Orcs can bring out. As the Marines push up onto this side, we've got some plasmas out here even. Plasma attacks are all charged up, do a lot of damage. Until they overheat. Gorguts coming out here once again. Absolutely no idea why he spun there. But his orcs have now arrived. The kill team actually on the back here are going to get trapped by these orcs here who will come up to fight them. So this fight is not going to go anywhere because there are no more reinforcements coming from either side. This scout is just going to sneak out, and now these orcs should get on the kill team and finish them off. Actually, a missed taunt there from the knobs. It's kind of unfortunate, and now they're sort of standing about. This is so annoying for Dullahan. Now he has just moved his army back to go and chase this kill team, which was probably too much of a movement. And now just the plasma attacks are back, and he loses this thing that he just finished defending. The kill team is going to finally go down, but probably more effort than is really worth it was put into getting that. And here we go. DaDoksinX has got this big early game army, and he hasn't really got done anything super significant with it. But now he has just rushed himself up to tier 3, and he's making predators. And a predator destructor is going to do great against this army. Is that going to be the Mad Mech? No. Oh, that's Wazmaka coming out again. I forgot that he already had Wazmaka down earlier this game. So he's going to get some scrap down here. Getting ready to put out some turrets if you want. Another missed stick bomb. Good stun there. Good taunt from the war boss. And now we have a big scary orc army coming down here just as the first destructor has come out. If they can catch this destructor and kill it very quickly, that would actually be a huge moment for them. But there are devastators in this point. Gabriel Angelos is going to jump right onto the back here. A drop pod coming down as well. Predator is going to go down. That is a big moment. But there are las cannons, there are plasma attacks, there are devastators. There is a lot in the backline here that's just not being gone on by the orcs. And Gabriel Angelos is just making such a mess in the middle of the orc lines. And there's just not really any power left from these orcs. They have one squad of tank busters, but there are no tanks to bust. They have no looters left, so it's just shooters. And so this is just an outpowering force here from Marines. Gabriel looks like he might go down, but he might not even. The spin from War Boss was good there, but has now run out. Wazmaka trying to get some points out. Gorguts is now going to get on the backline when there is only a backline. But actually going for the las cannons is an interesting decision when he no longer has anything that the las cannons do well against. He really needs to take out these devastators who are just doing a huge amount of work. The tax going down there is really nice for the orc player. Gonna get some damage on the building as well. He has a truck here. He needs to be careful. DaDoksinX doing a good job changing the focus of his las cannons, and there we go. Dullahan does get on them and stop them from taking out that truck. That was close to being very painful, and this shield generator is going to go down. The devastators all backing off. The orc reinforcements have been enough. The truck there being hugely impactful, allowing them to get that early reinforcement, taking out this barracks. And now there is a big hole in the middle of the Marines' forces. However, we are getting very close to assault terminators being out. There is a Death Storm and a Dreadnought, which are both ready to drop. Getting that water tower up. Dullahan feels confident now that he can take the map. Gorguts is actually out here a bit far. He's going to start getting hit by Angelos. With a kill team down here as well, he does need to back up, and assault terminators can come down. That's going to be assault terminator coming down right here on Gorguts' head. And here we have our brothers with their hammers and their shields, who, for Terminators, look incredibly tiny when placed up against the giant Gorguts. But compared to everything else, they are still pretty huge. Personally, much more of a fan of the standard Terminators, although I do think the Assault Terminators are probably better, at least right now. just getting the ability to get into melee with some of these things and just kill them is such good. And they do have heavy armor, so these tank busters are actually going to start doing some decent damage against them. But they are out on their own here. And if they just get hit by these Devastators and don't run away, this is going to be a really bad position. Devastator's actually setting up out of vision. It's kind of unfortunate. But, a big drop here with the Deathstorm getting right onto the back of the Orc forces. And just everything's getting absolutely dominated. Holy moly, the health on this has all gone down so fast from getting a flame. And it's just such a sudden end to the game. The pushback was coming from DaDoksinX, and just a really bad fight forces Dullahan out there. Getting caught with the Deathstorm drops right on him. Gabriel Angelos and the Assault Terminators getting some hits down there, damaging the Orcs and forcing a lot of them into melee where they didn't want to be. And that's going to be the end of this game. Congratulations, DaDoksinX, for being the champion of ESL NA, weekly tournament number 7. And thank everybody for watching.